substantive in nature, you want to be there.
Yeah.
Because you can see.
We are live.
Oh, right.
We're going to do this. We're live.
Nice.
We're streaming.
I love that.
You see that? The best of investing. It shows up kind of backwards here, but I guess it's accurate on there. Hopefully this will work. I can't put subtitles on YouTube. Isn't that?
Card.
Yeah, I know. I was just going to say, do you want us to print it out for you on scanner?
Well, for some reason, YouTube changed their thing. You can't put subtitles. But I don't know why.
Oh, that's
crazy.
That sounds
I
crazy.
thought they were sophisticated.
As sophisticated as us.
That's right. But at least
handwritten subtitles.
That's right. But at least see, we've got two people right here, and the camera sees all three of us.
Very nice.
So
the fact that the font size changes over the course of the writing.
Really and style.
Yes, that's right. Yeah.
It's starting at
a graphic designer. I am not.
Into Calibri and ends at Arial.
Calibri. Yeah, I guess that is what they call it. Okay, if you guys are ready, we can.
What are the times?
7:10, 8:28, 9:10, 9:17, and 5:10. That was not a little clock thing here. When you see me do like this, just keep talking, but no, we got to wind it down. Are you ready?
Yes, sir.
How do you want to start? Just me introducing?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just introduce as real estate attorney Bryan Kreft.
Sounds good.
All right. Brian with a Y.
I know you corrected me, and then I apologize. Hopefully,
we were just talking about that.
Brilliantly, you didn't make the same mistake twice.
No.
That's because he emailed me
6
without
times.
copying you in it. Said, "Hey, dude, why not I?
Get on the ball.
Yeah, don't let it happen again."
I gotta look out my window and
For better days.
This sense of humor is just spot on. I love it. I hope your wife appreciates it.
She slaps me.
All right.
Appreciation? Okay.
All right, here we go. Welcome. You're listening to The Best of Investing. I'm your host, Edward Brown, along with my co-host, Nam Phan of Pacific Private Money. Mark Hanf is off today. Our phone number is 888-912-1190. Use that number to answer the trivia questions for a 5-pack tanning certificate, which is worth over $100, given away during this show. The certificate's not sponsored by the radio station, but by Tan Bella Tanning Salon with 2 locations in San Francisco and 1 in Marin. And we're going to actually ask 3 different trivia questions, so you have 3 chances to win. I want to make a mention here, don't make fun of me, but you know what my favorite energy drink is? Go Girl. That's right. It is Go Girl.
Really?
I gotta say, first of all, it tastes really good. Now, mine is the original sugar-free, which is in a pink label. They also have peach, but you can get it at Safeway.
Very nice.
It's got a little caffeine in it. Doesn't give you the crash, but not only so it tastes good and it gives you the energy. And I become like Arnold.
It's dethroned tap for you, huh?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'm gonna try it.
No, it's really good. I'll give you a swig of one or whatever. All right, today's trivia theme is science. She blinded me with science, but it's not the movie.
What was that
movie?
Weird
from? Science?
Yeah, that was Weird Science.
Weird
That's great.
That was a funny movie.
Classic.
Yeah. Okay. Well, our special, you heard that voice? That voice is our special guest, real estate attorney Bryan Kreft. Bryan with a Y. Kreft with a K. Ending in FT. Okay.
That is the correct spelling. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Bryan, welcome to The Best of Investing.
Thanks so much. It's great to be here.
All right. Nam, you got a couple of questions for our friend here. Because he's a real estate attorney.
Yeah. So,
I am a real estate litigator.
Litigator.
So, what are the most common things that you litigate these days?
Oh my goodness. It really depends.
Mhm.
Anything and everything involving real estate.
And trends? I mean, do you see trends over time, or is it the same things typically over and over that people just either is it the litigation that if you look back was something that the realtor didn't oversaw or had an oversight on, or what are the origins of a lot of these issues?
I tend to get a lot of neighbor dispute matters sent my way, and that's because a couple of title insurance companies that shall remain nameless are clients of mine, and so they'll send title insurance matters to me in which I represent the insured.
Okay, in fact, I asked Rick at the office this. Does anybody really read the title policy from the standpoint of 13 degrees southwest of whatever?
No. Are you kidding?
Of course not.
No, it's not like an automobile policy. So automobile policy, of which we all have, I assume, right? If you own an automobile, right? You pay on a monthly basis generally, unless you can afford the yearly fee, but you pay on a monthly basis, and it just rolls. It continues on, and you have it, and such that if you ever need to make a claim, you make a claim. Title insurance policy is very different.
Okay.
You obtain a title insurance policy whenever you purchase a piece of property. You pay one-time premium, and then the policy is good for as long as you own your property.
Assuming that they have the correct meets and bounds and all that other fun stuff.
Well, so what happens? Yeah. So with that is that your title to your property is insured against any generally adverse claims.
Okay.
A neighbor claims some interest in your driveway or your backyard based upon fence
the
location.
fence location. Yeah,
exactly. Right. That's sort of the typical stuff where your neighbor says, "Hey, we need to move this. You're encroaching onto my property." Well, then you might make a title insurance claim and make a claim on your title insurance policy.
But how would they even know? I mean, a lot of times fences
A lot of
put
people
up.
don't. Yeah, no
Right.
fences. Right.
Yeah.
So the way to figure all that out is to get a survey.
Yeah.
And a quality survey.
Yeah.
Right. So once people go and they take a look at a property that they may be interested in purchasing, they tend to assume that when they see the property, that which they see is what
It's
they're
like a
purchasing.
fence line.
Yeah, correct.
Yep.
Yeah, I hired a surveyor. He just kind of took out his little protractor. Said, "Yeah, this looks about right." I said, "Good, that works for me." Only charged me $100. No, just kidding out there, audience.
They do not use protractors.
No.
I can vouch for that.
Slide
But
Go ahead.
yeah. But exactly, you get a surveyor to come on out and identify exactly where the boundary lines are located.
And do they do that like from like 100-year-old trees and stuff? I mean,
No.
how do they do that?
No. It's much more scientific now. You can get down to the inch.
Are they using GPS now?
Yes.
Okay.
But I mean, GPS from who originally? Yeah, I guess in the title policy it'll say like 30 degrees.
So every piece of property has what's called a legal description, and that
Yep.
legal description defines the metes and bounds of the property, and that will describe the property based upon direction and length of feet and how far of travel, and that's all based upon earlier maps recorded in the county that divide up the properties, and so there'll generally be a reference in the legal description to the map or the metes and bounds of the property, and that's what the surveyor goes off of. The surveyor takes a look at that legal description and then locates, with their methodology and their equipment, they locate those points on the ground. And oftentimes your average layperson purchasing a piece of property will assume that the fence that they're seeing is on that property line, and you can just simply
never happens like that. Yeah,
never happens.
Really funny story is we had to change our fence it had something to do with the sewer. So what I did was I thought, I asked the neighbor lady, I said, "Would you care if I kind of just moved the fence back?" Because it was property she wasn't going to ever use, right? She says, "Yeah, no, go ahead." So I just kind of put some stakes out where I wanted the new fence to be built, right? Because it was an old fence, I had to do it anyway. And then it turns out with the sewer people, we had to get a survey. And the surveyor said, who put these stakes out here? I go, "Well, I did." He goes, "Actually, they're almost exactly on the survey line." I'm in the wrong profession.
So your original fence was actually encroaching onto your
correct,
property, and you actually recovered
that's bingo.
additional property.
That's exactly what happened.
Very nice.
I'm very happy with it. Okay, first trivia question. How many more times powerful is an earthquake that measures 8 on the Richter scale compared to an earthquake that measures 4 on a Richter scale? All right. We want to know the multiplier. Okay, don't answer yet, Brian, if you know the answer. First caller with the correct answer is going to win that tanning certificate. Call 888-912-1190 to answer this question. How many more times powerful is an earthquake that measures 8 on the Richter scale as compared to an earthquake that measures 4? All right, don't touch that dial. The best of investing will be right back. Okay.
Interesting.
Yeah.
So I want to keep. I mean, man, there's so much more we can chat about with this.
It's so fun.
You just keep me going whatever direction you want. Is
Yeah.
that all
No, I'd love to expand.
so far
on that.
so good?
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, great.
Okay.
You do good radio.
I give good radio.
You give good radio. Exactly.
Okay.
Remember, this is a kid-friendly show.
Yes, it is. I was going to say, I assume the answer to that trivia question is not 4.
Right.
And you would be correct in assuming it is not 4.
It's 400, right?
That's what I thought. I thought it might have been 400, but I wasn't
Yeah.
sure.
Isn't each point?
Well, I will let you answer on the air.
All right.
I'm looking at my notes here.
I don't look at notes. I can't
You
read
just
it.
Google. Don't Google. Don't do it.
Yeah.
Okay.
So is this officially commercial break? Is that what?
Yeah, because what I do is I save the file, and then I have 4 different or 5 different segments. I send just these audios to the station. They put it together with the music and commercials, and we have a real show.
Great.
All right.
Other
now-
than the live stream, which is
Yeah,
live right now.
that's
Live.
Yeah.
all right. Who wants to try a taste of Go Girl?
Oh, me.
You do? Okay, let me get. You want to taste some?
Get 3 straws, will you?
Yeah. I told you, it's sense of humor. Love that guy.
What if I wasn't kidding? Just kidding. So yeah, thanks again for doing this. It's great.
No, it's good fun.
Yeah,
I didn't realize how fun it would be.
really?
No.
Did you listen to any of the other shows?
I have not.
Okay. I never listened back at any of the.
Is that your way of not being too self-critical?
Yes,
Actually,
and
I
then
should-
time
just in
too.
case you don't like
I
it.
hear you.
Yeah.
As a litigator, following a hearing, you can get a transcript, of course, of that hearing.
hmm
And it's sometimes difficult to read it back because it reads verbatim, word for word. And there's oftentimes a lot of verbal fry, and you try to minimize that, of course.
I want to ask you that actually.
Sure.
You separate from real estate, and what is it like as a litigator? That's
Yeah.
interesting. People listening in the audience.
What do you think?
Yeah, you just need to be really, really careful with your words.
Isn't that good?
Oh, yeah, okay, hold on, let me try it.
Tastes like candy.
It does. No sugar.
Wow.
There's
Yeah.
no sugar in that?
No sugar. It's Go Girl.
Solid sponsor.
So yeah,
It's
Safeway,
good.
2 cans for $3. It's pretty expensive. Your trivia, your email question was, have you ever promised a borrower you could fund a loan and then not been able to?
Okay.
The answer's no. We never left anybody at the altar. All right, I'm going to do a little quick announcement for these rascals here. This will be our last one. You guys ready?
Sure.
Okay, here we go. Let's go now. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Edward Brown here, along with non-fawn of Pacific Private Money and our special guest, Bryan Kreft, real estate litigator. All right, we like him anyway. Okay, first trivia question. How many more times powerful is an earthquake that measures 8 on the Richter scale compared to an earthquake that measures 4?
400?
You ready for this?
I'm sure it's not 4.
It's
4,000?
10,000 times.
Really?
It's
10,000?
logarithmic. Each successive number represents a 10-fold increase.
Solid knowledge.
Wow.
Yeah, so an 8 is big.
Yeah, yeah.
4, not so big.
Although when you feel a 4,
You
and to
can actually
think
feel
that
it, yeah.
that an 8's 10,000 times.
10,000 times more powerful.
I did
Oh,
manage to suffer through both Loma Prieta and Northridge.
Really?
Based
Really?
on my time, and yeah, Loma Prieta because I was in high school at the time down in Mountain View.
Yep.
And then Northridge down at UCLA.
Wow, I went to that. I remember that January 17th, 1994. That's because January 17th, my birthday, and I was down there like literally a week after it happened.
I was at school in Santa Barbara for Loma Prieta, and some of the students who were on the 8th floor of the library there said they felt it. All the way in Santa Barbara.
I felt it in Hawaii. I don't know if it was the same one. People thought my wife and I caused it because it was our honeymoon, but I can't swear to that.
Rated G.
Rated G,
radio show.
rated G. That's right. Well, we were dancing.
What are we doing hanging around with Bryan? He's been in 2 earthquakes.
Yeah.
Sorry, my luck is not
Yeah,
good.
exactly.
All right. Make it quick. Make the show quick.
Want to make a quick mention here. Tonight is the last night for Gerstein plays Brahms with the San Francisco Symphony
Exciting.
at Davies Hall at 8 p.m. If you like piano, check it out. All right.
Symphony's fabulous.
Yeah, especially at Davies Hall.
Yeah.
That's why I graduated college. Did I tell you when I graduated college, they hand out the diplomas and they mention, this one's magna cum laude, this is summa cum laude. The dean handed me my diploma and just went, lauded. Ba-dum-bum.
Yeah.
Okay.
One more bad joke and you're out.
I know we're on the 5th floor here and there's a window and Nom's going to create an opening in that window to throw me out. You wanted to continue with our friend here about that?
Yeah, you were talking about some of the common issues. You said there were neighbor issues. What are some other examples?
A lot of neighbor disputes.
Yeah, neighbor disputes.
So oftentimes it's the encroachment issue,
Mhm.
right? Someone's built something on someone else's land and you don't know about it or don't learn about it until you've got a survey done.
Okay.
And then at that point in time, the issue becomes, okay, do the encroachments get to stay there or do they need to be moved?
How often do you get,
why?
does someone want to hire a surveyor in case
Often.
Yeah.
Because surveying,
It's not
you know,
exact. Go ahead, you tell me.
it's as much art as it is science.
Okay, wow.
And reasonable and quality surveyors can disagree.
Okay.
And so you try to get the best possible surveyor out there, someone with a quality reputation that's not going to charge you an arm and a leg, and use that. And everyone generally, you try to agree to that. That's
because isn't there like a
baseline.
survey? Isn't there like a monument or something? A lot of times there's a survey monument or a real stake.
If prior surveyors have done work in a certain area,
Yeah.
then they will leave behind the little markers, those little tags. You'll see those in the street if you're just walking along and looking down. You'll see those every so often, and those little markers have the surveyor's initials and their sometimes their initials, but oftentimes their survey appraisal ID tag.
I thought it was something a little bit more monumental, like a real metal thing in the ground.
That is what those are.
Oh, well, where it doesn't come out.
Exactly. No, and then they set those up, and they can do corner records, and they can locate so that when later surveyors come back out, they can try to retrace or recreate what a prior surveyor has done.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Pretty amazing, those little yellow telescope things that they look through.
It is. I don't get it all myself. I just rely on them to do quality work. But if you get a quality surveyor, and they can then show you exactly where the property line is and prepare a surveyor for you. Sometimes if you want a very detailed survey, you even get a topographic survey, which will show your rise and fall of the land in the area, in addition to identifying
if you get a place where they have not actually put a monument, I was told they look at like 100-year-old tree or something, and they kind of compare that.
When we're not talking city properties or developed properties, when we're talking out in the countryside, then yes, absolutely, you can go back to some legal descriptions which say make it right at the old oak tree. And those get really intriguing because, of course, over time things change.
Right. A little history thing. Sure. Because I don't know the answer to this, but remember the Oklahoma thing in the 1800s? They basically, all right, it's noon, go ahead and just stake out your claim.
Land grab.
Yeah, exactly. How, I don't know how somebody would basically say, I get X piece of land compared to Y. I mean, someone could just say, here's my first stake, and then keep going for 100 miles versus someone else after 5 miles. You know what I mean?
I do know what you mean, and I have no idea how that worked. My impression of that has always come from Tom Cruise's Far and Away.
Exactly. That's exactly what I was thinking. Yeah.
But I have no idea.
But didn't someone come through first and map it out and make grid or pre-survey it? And then maybe there were things like you had to do contiguous, claim contiguous property,
that would
plots or something like that, or maybe I don't know.
It would need to be mapped, and it would need to be their quadrants, right? And then some legal descriptions for larger plots of land out in the countryside are based upon quadrants.
That definitely is the Wild West. I mean, I tried to make a claim for his house, and he wouldn't let me.
You need to be living there first and pay property taxes. But you could do it.
So my roof is
That's just 9/10 of the law.
There has to be an ouster, but you can do it.
So a lot of these claims aren't necessarily because of like defective title. It's more stuff that happens after the fact, like neighbors building stuff.
It is. It is. Occasionally you'll get what's called like a wild deed, someone claiming a right in a piece of property that they don't really have a right to, and that of course would trigger a claim your title.
Are you ready for this? I actually claimed a street, if you can believe that, and you can't go against the sovereign, right?
No, that's correct.
But it was the old Wild West. It was before they put the freeway in, and the guy before me decided to take an old street and turn it into a parking lot. And then when a new person came, they wanted that street, and I said, no, I've had it for too many years. I had to go back 100 years. Well, they found some old guy who was a rocket scientist. He was the last remaining guy standing in order for him to sign off on it. It was just something out of a Star Wars movie.
Well, isn't that what happened in the Presidio?
So what happened in the Presidio, I know exactly what you're referring to. What happened in the Presidio is that street through the Presidio Heights area there, that street is publicly owned, and for some reason the tax bill was going into the abyss.
Right.
The local homeowners association wasn't paying the taxes, and ultimately, if you stop paying taxes on something long enough, they put it up for sale. And for whatever reason, the notices went unanswered. The tax bills went unanswered, and it went up to auction. And sure enough, that couple purchased it. And then there's a big fight because, of course, it's a private street. and they now own it, and they've got rights.
They can put parking meters and whatever
I
else.
don't know
there.
how. I think ultimately a title claim was made, and I think they're trying to resolve it.
Yeah, they give them their money back plus 20% interest or something. But
Make it a good deal.
Yeah. All right. Second trivia question. You guys might know this one. Again, don't answer until after the commercial break. Talking science here, kind of general science. Where are the 3 smallest bones in the human body located?
I know this.
You do know this. All right. Call 888-912-1190. Be the first caller with the correct answer. You're going to win that tanning certificate worth $100, which, by the way, you can give to somebody else. You don't have to claim it yourself. Where are the 3 smallest bones in the human body? Don't touch that dial. The best of investing. Be right back. Okay. Segment number 2. Good timing. Good timing.
Going much quicker than I anticipated.
Yeah. No, it does.
Let's see, what other...
And you're similar to the Court of Appeal, once you get to not the Court of Appeal so much, but the California Supreme Court or the U.S. Supreme Court, they have lights that light up when you have, 5 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Boom. And when that red light goes, you're done.
Yeah, they just cut you off.
That's
Really?
Exactly. No more. You have to actually ask permission to finish the sentence that you're in the middle of finishing.
Say,
Wow.
hey, I'm not done yet.
Exactly.
Try that.
So is there anything you can do in terms of preparation knowing that? Or is that something
Just
that
run your spiel as best you can. But the problem is when you get to that level, you're not providing a spiel anymore. All you're doing is answering questions.
Okay.
And so
So you get the judge who talks really slowly. Come on, hurry up, my time's
you
going.
get one or 2 lines in it, and that's it. Then it's all about answering the question.
So you have one of those famous plaques that says that you've been before the Supreme Court, right?
I have not been before the Supreme Court.
What's he doing on this show?
Oh my goodness. I would love
Is that
to
a good
at some
thing?
point in time. Yeah.
Yeah.
In California, I've been both in federal court and in state court, and also both sets of court of appeals, which is good, which is fun because then you get multiple judges up there, and that's
That's
more
kinda fun,
more.
yeah.
And do your cases get tried in front of a jury?
Some do.
Yeah.
However, the vast majority don't, and the reason being is that your primary right in real property cases is like a quiet title. It's called quiet title of declaratory relief, and that's something that the judge needs to decide.
Yeah, you don't want some, because they don't know the law.
You don't want
Right.
some jury
Yeah.
making the decision.
Well, you look like a nice guy. We'll vote for him.
So what do you really think
For the
the
last
jury is?
20 years, you should be able to continue.
Right.
Oh,
Yeah.
gosh.
You don't want
You get all that.
Yeah.
Crazy stuff. Was there something else specific that?
Actually, I just want to ask a couple more questions.
Okay,
On that
because we want to move on to.
Yeah. It's just interesting to me. I just love
I will
law.
answer any and all questions.
Okay.
What's your social security number?
I'm not answering that one.
Oh, he just said all.
But so long as I can have some more Go Girl.
Yeah, you want some?
I'd love to.
I tell you, it's pretty good, isn't it?
Okay, thanks.
How about you? Are you
No,
growing? Okay.
It's got me going now.
Oh, it will. It'll get you. I forgot to say you should have it before 10 a.m. Otherwise, it'll keep you up all night.
Oh,
Just kidding.
great.
Don't we have a lot of fun here?
Late night Netflix binging here.
Yeah. I did that. I was sick a couple of weeks ago, and
What did you watch?
Waco.
Haven't seen it.
It was
Oh,
actually
you told
very
me
good.
Was it good?
Yeah, I thought it was very what I would have. I remembered the Waco thing, but you only know what people tell you,
course.
right? But you saw it from both sides, and you could see how probably. Again, I can't say it was 100% accurate, but I could see how it probably was very close to being accurate because they showed you everything. It was very good. I enjoyed it really much, very much. Okay, ready? Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Edward Brown here, along with, I'm going to call him Dr. Nam Fawn because he thinks he knows the answer to this question, and our special guest, Bryan Kreft. Where are the 3 smallest bones in the human body located, Dr. Fawn?
In your ear.
That is correct. Specifically,
Very well
Incus,
done.
malleus, and stapes, I think.
whoa, I didn't go that far, but that's very good. In the middle ear, that is correct.
Got an A in physiology.
Very impressive.
Nice school. Yeah.
Not bad. How many years? 6 years of high school? Like me?
6 years. I took the class like 3 times. I only got an A, but
Didn't have to
that's all
cheat.
in the past.
Okay, one more quick mention here. Hornblower. Anybody been on the hornblower?
Not yet. I'm looking forward
It's
to it.
awesome.
I want to.
Yeah, in fact, you can do it for I think they still have availability for Memorial Day and also for Father's Day, whether you're a father or not. They take you out on the bay Food is phenomenal.
I like seeing them out there by the Giants games. So
yes, exactly that. Going underneath the bridge, and the thing is, you don't get seasick. Usually, I get seasick. I don't get seasick on the horn bar.
Don't stand by the horn though; it'll blow out your.
It'll be.
Well done.
That's how I know the answer.
This guy. I love this guy. Okay, Nam, you want to ask Brian a little more?
Yeah, at the break, where I was just asking Brian, how many of your cases go to trial, and then are
only
they
the worst ones?
Only the worst.
Yeah.
You probably have some interesting stories that could
Sure.
take up a whole other show too. But jury versus non-jury. What times would there be a jury trial?
Sure. So let me answer the first question first. Only the worst cases ultimately get tried, where the parties are just so entrenched that they are unwilling to compromise. Because of course, resolving a case requires give and take on all sides.
Are those usually bigger ticket?
Sometimes
cases, or?
it can be. Sometimes it's because the attorney's fees have been run up so high that now all of a sudden you can't settle it without doing that.
And that gets really frustrating because a lot of times these things can be settled without incurring a whole bunch. Because if I knew I was going to spend $100,000 on attorney's fees, I could have given you $80,000. We've been done.
My whole goal is to try to get stuff done efficiently
Good for you.
and as quickly as possible within the confines, of course, of the legal world,
Sure.
which takes forever.
Right.
The wheels of justice do turn slowly,
Mm-hmm.
especially with the budget issues and all that.
That's my kind of attorney now.
You want to be able to try to do that, and there's more. I find that being personable with opposing counsel and trying to lower tensions amongst which can sometimes be very contentious neighbor disputes. That's where you get the most work done.
Yeah.
Right.
No, that's a good point. The second question.
Yes. What would trigger a court trial versus a jury trial? In the real property world, the vast majority of trials are court trials because your primary right is you're trying to resolve the issue involving title or encroachment, and those are all questions for a judge under either a quiet title cause of action or declaratory relief cause of action. You're seeking a judge to adjudicate something. Where a jury would come into play is, say you've got secondary tort claims like nuisance.
Okay.
So we were talking about the neighbor issue earlier, and nuisance claims come up when one of your neighbors is doing something that's not really reasonable, either smells,
loud parties for a long
music
time
at night,
right?
Anything along those lines that would cause a reasonable person to say, that's just too much. I can't deal with that.
What's the definition of a reasonable person?
It depends on situation to situation. As any good lawyer will tell you.
Yeah.
But if you're blasting your music at 2 a.m. in the morning, that's totally unreasonable. If you're causing smells to emanate from your property and that waft over onto neighboring property. And
I'm a good cook, but sometimes every once in a while things happen.
The smoke detectors do go off.
Yeah.
Right. That's when I show up with a towel and start waving it in front of the smoke detector to try to clear that. Yes,
Smart.
but that's a nuisance claim like that would trigger potentially a jury right.
That's interesting.
And Brian, how do people get a hold of you if they have questions on?
I'm right here in town, San Rafael. I've got an office over at 790 Mission. My number is 415 421. No, that's not correct. That's my old number. And you're catching me on the spot right now.
What's the name of your law firm?
48. Don't do that. Bryan M. Kreft Law Office is 485-2200. 485-2200.
That's easy.
And I am in the process of forming a new firm with a very dear friend and a very fine local lawyer, Parrott Schaefer. So Schaefer Kreft LLP is going to be hitting the web here shortly.
Okay.
Awesome.
Probably
Very
the next
Look out,
week or so.
world.
Yeah.
I think we've had him on.
You have.
We have.
He enjoyed his time here and loved it.
Almost as much as you enjoyed your time.
I am enjoying it. It's good fun.
Good, it is fun. Hey, Nam, I got a question here for you because we're going to shift gears for just a minute.
Please.
Nam, you're the business development guy at Pacific Private Money, and an email comes in and says, have you ever promised a borrower you could fund a loan and not been able to?
Boy, that's a trick question. The short answer is no. We've always come through. Never leave, like Mark likes to say. Mark Hoff likes to say, we never leave somebody at the altar. However, if we uncover something that we previously didn't know about in the application process, then we may have to decline or change the terms.
Yeah, and I think this one specifically. Okay, have you ever promised a borrower and then not been able to?
Right.
So able. Yeah,
right.
The answer is no.
Right.
The other question would be, have you ever promised to do a fund and then declined it. Well, that can happen. Yeah.
So just to clarify, if we're able to, we've delivered. If it's something where we've had to reevaluate after the fact because of new information and we've had to say no, then that happens too.
Yeah. But that's not your fault, though. That's
that's shortage of information sometimes.
Because I think that's one of the things that comes up in the private money world is, I don't know if these guys they say that they're going to come through. Not that it doesn't have to necessarily be specific private money, but just these guys in the world of private loans. How do I know they're actually going to come through in time? Yeah,
something that we really promote is the fact that it's certainty of delivery for us. That's
I like that a lot. Being a real estate litigator, I do have occasion to deal with private lenders as well as the institutional lenders, and I find that the private lenders tend to be really flexible.
Well, plus the nice thing is you guys have a fund, so you already have the money. It's not like you have to go out and chase investors to find the money for the loan.
So a large percentage of our the deal flow or the loans that we get are funded directly from our Pacific Private Money Fund.
Which is how big right now?
We're up to 40 million.
That's great.
So 40 million, and
now you're getting into some real money.
always looking to raise capital. So our next event is actually next week, or this coming week, the 31st at our office in Novato.
That's a Thursday.
Yep, Thursday from 6 to 8 p.m. It's not too late to RSVP, so call into the office at 415-883-2150. We're actually probably going to have to cut it off pretty soon because we have a huge number of almost 30 people have registered for the event. We have people who last minute can't make it, but at around 25 people at our office, it gets pretty hot in there. So it's not too late, though. If you want to come, then do call us and register, and we'll add you to the list.
Will you record it for a webinar?
Usually we'll do webinars separately, which we'll record. And we actually have some previous webinars that we've done. The information is essentially the same. It's just not as up to date. And you can go to our website, which is www.pacificprivatemoney, to watch our most recent webinars back in November. So you can go in.
Like I said, the information really hasn't changed too much.
Right. Just the fund's grown since then, and the results have been the same though, 7.5% to 8% return to our investors.
Pretty righteous bucks there, 7.5%. Yeah. All right, guys, we're going to get to our last trivia question here. What is the hottest planet in our solar system? Now you only have 8 to choose from. It used to be 9, but they got rid of Pluto, which I'm very upset about because it's still a planet. It's always been a planet. So anyway, that's our trivia question. Call 888-912-1190 to answer this question. What is the hottest planet in our solar system? All right, and don't touch that dial because we're going to come back with that answer, and we've got more information on the Pacific Private Money Fund. So somebody, you ever watch the TV show 2.5 Men?
Yes.
There's a line in there that is probably one of the best, funniest lines. Alan is talking about how his potential girlfriend or whatever is married to some guy who's like really, really old. And so Walden asks us, he goes, well, how old is he? He goes, well, he was one of the inventors of Apple, the fruit. When he said it, just cracked me up.
That's a long time ago.
I know. I just started recording the shows because I never really watched it too much.
I never watched that. Did it last much longer after they got rid of Charlie Sheen?
I think it did a little bit.
Yeah.
Before Charlie. Yeah. Before that was it.
You know who you kind of remind me of?
Who?
Hans Gruber.
I get the David Copperfield.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I can see that.
Yeah. It's the nose.
I can see a little bit of the. You know who he's talking about, right?
Yeah, I do.
But he's a bitty bad man.
Yeah, but you know what? He redeemed himself as Snape in Harry Potter.
Fabulous.
He was
Alan
Rickman. Yeah.
Fabulous.
Passed away though.
Very sad. Very sad. Yeah, a couple years ago.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? I've never seen any Harry Potter thing, but I think I've seen
kidding?
Yeah, I know that there's like the guy who was in Braveheart, the
he's
the friend
Hagrid,
of
or no?
Wait, hold on, Seamus or whatever, not Mel Gibson, but his cohort, big guy. I think he plays still with big beard and everything.
Hagrid, yeah.
Hagrid, okay.
Yeah, my daughter and I we're
I was
totally
going to
into
say,
it.
come on now.
So wait a minute.
Harry
So
Potter
the guy
series,
who
It's
so Hans
fabulous.
Gruber was
Oh, it's
actually a good
great.
guy in Harry Potter.
Yes.
Yes, ultimately.
Yes.
But you hated him for the longest time, and then at the end you're just like
That's like Hulk
forgave it
Hogan.
all.
He eventually becomes a
Fabulous
good guy. Yeah.
He was also in that, what was the wine movie in which he was a wine critic? I'm trying to
Not
remember.
Sideways.
No.
Oh.
It was a different one more recently. And it was also fabulous, but I'm trying to remember what it was. I need to look it up now.
So I should see the Harry Potter movies.
Oh, they're fabulous.
Yeah.
All of them.
Yeah, they're good.
Do you have to start from the beginning?
Yeah, I would.
Yeah.
It's
Harry
fabulous
Potter
to see
and
the
the Sorcerer's Stone.
correct.
Is that the first one?
It's great to see the actors
Yeah,
progress.
They
yeah.
got older, sure. Well, even
Yeah.
in 2.5 Men, he was just a cute little
But
guy.
they progressed from the age appropriate. They started when
Correct.
they were like 10,
Junior high, yeah.
and then they just throughout the whole
Then they become a grandfather.
5 years, and yeah.
Is that what was it? 5 years?
It's actually I don't know how from the beginning to end.
The thing is,
Might have been 7.
I never really got into those like Lord of the Rings or The Hobbit and that kind
Those
of
are
stuff.
fun.
Yeah.
It's just too.
We as a family,
Out.
we just finished rewatching The Lord of the Rings, and the director's cut. Each one of those movies is 4 hours, so it takes forever, to get through. But it's fun
Especially after little kids.
as a
and it's
family.
like,
Yeah.
I don't know. My kids like Slapshot. And,
Yeah.
you know that movie, I guess. That's why you laugh.
I do. I do.
No, the Rocky movies, man.
I'm only partial to Rocky 4.
Was that with Ivan
yeah,
Drago? Oh, that was
Rocky
great.
5 was the worst.
No,
That was not even a Rocky
He
movie.
dies. He dies.
the first
Yeah.
one, sure enough, won the Oscar, Best
Yeah.
Picture, right? The
Yeah.
first
That
one.
was a great.
And
Movie.
he was beefy.
He was great. 2 was okay.
2 was
3
good. I
with
love-
Mr. T.
I
was-
love
no,
that one with
no,
Thunder
no,
Lips.
No. Clover Lang. Yeah.
Clever Lang,
No,
yeah.
no, no.
Oh,
But then the
man, that
There
was
was some
awesome.
meat in that.
You're going to eat lightning. You're going to crap
Oh,
thunder.
yeah.
It might be
Yeah.
change, and you can
Oh, yeah.
change.
No,
Yeah.
okay, that was kind of
That was cheesy, but you like that, huh?
You did. It was
That
great.
was 4.
That was
Yeah.
4.
But that had great music.
Mhm.
Ain't no easy way.
Yeah.
This is a good
That's very good.
Robert Tepper. Yeah, I get that on my or not iPod, whatever, iTunes, something like that. Okay.
917 is the next one.
Yes. I don't know why I clicked that one off. Okay. Are we ready?
Sure.
Okay, because we did 3 segments. Yeah. And away we go. Bingo. Welcome back to the best of investing. One more time, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Nam Fon and our special guest, Bryan Kreft.
I love being called special.
You are special. Your mom told me you were
She
special.
does. She does. Yeah, my wife does too. occasionally.
Okay. What is the hottest planet in our solar system?
Is it Mercury
It's got to be.
One would think
or is it Venus?
Final answer?
it's Venus because it has an
Oh, that
atmospheric
atmosphere.
blanket of carbon dioxide,
Really?
right.
which in layman's terms, I guess, just basically gives it the hot effect.
I have not done well on these trivia questions at all.
I usually don't.
Survey says,
That one.
well, actually, these are hard, except for the smallest bones with Dr. Fon over here.
Yeah.
All right, tell
Not
us.
me as a doctor. That's for sure.
Tell us a little bit about the Pacific Private Money Fund. We just had that one quick question about.
Yeah, so Pacific Private Money Fund, as we were talking about earlier, is our fund that is made up of individual accredited investors' investments. It's been in existence since 2013, and during that time, it's paid very, very consistently between 7.5% and 8%. And we use the funds to make loans, like we described earlier, but loans that oftentimes banks can't do because of speed.
Okay,
So we're very
give us an
fast.
example.
So someone comes to us by way of usually a realtor
Okay.
or a mortgage broker because a number of reasons. But one of the very common ones is they, especially in this market, the seller has a home to sell, which will sell really quickly, but their concern is having a home to move into. So oftentimes a bank will say, you can't afford 2 mortgages. And in order to purchase a new home, you have to be able to sell your home, and we'll take the proceeds for the down payment or for the new home. And oftentimes that's just not practical in this market where the trying to compete against other buyers on a home is really tough. And especially if you're competing all cash against all cash and you have a sale contingency.
That's hard.
That's really hard.
And
And
people don't want to move twice.
No.
right. So realtors and mortgage brokers will come to us because we have a bridge loan product where we can provide the purchase money on the home that they're moving into, while through cross collateralization, which is something conventional lenders won't do. That loan gets them into the home that they're moving into, buys them time. They don't have to list the current home that they're in right away.
Yeah.
Allows them to make the offer, non-sale contingent offer, move in, and then they can stage their home that they're moving out of and get a higher value on that through staging and make it, clean it up, do any work to it. And then once they sell the home that they're moving out of, they pay us off, which is usually in 5 or 6 months.
So Brian, there's a deal the week that we had last week. I don't know if you have another one this week, but last week we had one where El Dorado Hills, the borrower came to Pacific Private Money because they were looking to buy the last home in the development, which is a model home, which is always the best one, right?
Sure.
It was worth $800.
Sells the rest of the product.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
It's all staged and everything. Included was the furniture. So the guy's buying it all furnished.
Wow.
Purchase price is $800,000.
Okay.
It's worth $850, but okay, let's go with $800. He's got the borrower comes in, buyer, $600,000 down.
Wow.
Just needs $200,000 from the bank. Bank says, well, unfortunately, we can't give you the money.
Why not?
Because the $600,000 was given to you by mom and dad, and it hasn't been seasoned long enough.
Okay.
And you haven't sold your property in Novato yet. He goes, yeah, but I can afford a $200,000 mortgage. Well, I'm sorry, and he had to close the deal in I think it was like 10 days or something. So Pacific Private Money arranged for that loan.
That's a perfect reason to come.
Yeah, exactly. And so I think the interest rate was just a hair under 9% and a couple of points. So it's a very conservative loan. I mean, 25% loan to value. You go to bed at night hoping the guy's not going to pay every night.
Extremely
Interest only, yeah.
So
as soon as he sells the Novato house, it's pay it off.
and people think so. A bridge loan for us is 11 months. You don't have to keep it for 11 months.
Yeah, there's no prepayment penalty.
Yeah, there's no prepay penalty. So when you're trying to factor in, okay, well, I'm paying 9%. Well, yes, it's interest only, but you don't have to keep paying 9% for 11 months. If you can pay us off sooner, then great. And we often, our bridge loans are 11 months, like I was saying, but the average term is about 5 or 6.
Yeah.
Longer.
So okay, they have to pay a couple points or whatever, but and they have to pay a little higher interest. Yeah, but they get the property that they really want. Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah, and for realtors or mortgage brokers out there, Edward wrote a great article that was in a industry publication about the potential benefits of buying before selling and some of the economics of it. If you want a copy of that, just give us a call at the office, 415-883-2150. And it's a great tool to have if you're sitting there with a client and they're on the sidelines about whether or not they should take out a bridge loan and pay the 9% versus waiting to sell their house first because, market's still appreciating for the most part. There's an opportunity cost if you don't act now.
Yeah, there's always the assumption that, taking out another mortgage on another piece of property, that can't make financial sense. Why would I want to do that? Well, we kind of show them how potentially, you have to make certain assumptions. I mean, if you're in a declining market, it probably doesn't make sense. Mm-hmm. But if you're in increasing, thank you very much, market appreciating, then, we kind of go through some calculations where it can make sense. So the realtors love it because it's a good sales tool for them. They get basically 2 commissions. They'll sell the one house and they'll help buy the other house. So again, call Nom Fawn at 415-883-2150 at Pacific Private Money, and he'll send you a copy of that article.
Yeah.
And now you first mentioned, I quickly heard accredited. Mm-hmm. So that means they have to have a net worth of $1 million exclusive of their home, or make $200,000 single, $300,000 as a couple.
Yep.
A lot of people don't qualify for that, but they like this kind of investment. Yeah, you guys have another website.
Yeah. So we have another service, and actually a marketplace where non-accredited investors can participate in real estate debt lending, and that's by lending on a specific loan, or trustee investing is what we call it. So you can actually go to privatemoneyloans.com, which is the URL we own, and it's a marketplace where we sell loans that we previously funded that are in our fund that we make available to investors on a per loan basis, or we'll have fund loans that just came in and we're looking for investors, then we're looking to close those loans. And investors can participate on a fractional basis, meaning they don't have to take the whole loan because our average loan is pretty high, like $700,000. But you can invest in increments of 20%. And again, you don't have to be accredited. You do have to be a California resident, though.
Okay.
So just be
It's a
clear.
great option, though.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and
it's
then
great.
people just there's no obligation. You can just register on the website.
Right. There's no cost to register. You can pledge on a loan, and then if you like, you can read all the documents we make available to any investor about the loan, and then if you choose to move forward, then we do have to drop the documents.
Okay. Otherwise, there's no penalty to back out.
Correct. I mean, not at this point. We obviously, if you're going to pledge, we want you to be committed to it. But we provide all the due diligence materials for you to make, an informed decision.
So, like in that example you gave, a $700,000 loan, someone has to have at least $140,000 because you want to do it in 20% increments.
Right.
And I'm guessing that's because you don't want, 500 people on a loan.
Right.
This would be maximum 5
Not
people on a
ideal.
loan. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Max is five investors on a loan, and the returns can be higher than what we pay in the fund. But again, you're invested in one loan, and some people have that preference, and some people do both. So they invest in the fund, and then they also invest in trust deeds, on an individual basis.
Good. Okay. Well, give out your website and your phone number one more time.
Yeah. So website for private money loans or for individual trust deeds is privatemoneyloans.com. If you're interested in the fund, you can call us at 415-883-2150. Actually, you can call us for both trust deed and the fund. And then otherwise go to www.pacificprivatemoney.com to learn about the fund.
Very good. All right. We're going to cut to our last commercial break. We don't have a trivia question, but when we come back, we're going to spend a few minutes with our little summary and our thoughts for the day. So don't touch that dial. We'll be right back. Okay. Good. Just one more quick segment and we're done.
Let's see. Make sure to give out Brian's contact information.
Sorry about earlier.
Oh, no.
You were so funny. It's just, all of a sudden one thing hits you and then you forget. Oh, you just blank, right? I'm staring right at it.
485-2200?
Correct.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And then this, I promise I will try and get it up on our website next week.
Oh, that's fine.
So the recordings. We should try and do, so if you ever want to.
So it plays actually on the radio first, and then you link it up to the.
Yeah, we don't get the finished show until the following
after
week.
the fact.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah. But does it stay on KDOW's website too? Can you watch past broadcasts?
Let me see.
Or 860. So it plays on two
This
stations.
was fun.
Yeah, if you ever want to do it again, I mean, there's
please.
one of the things we're trying to move towards is more of the same, guests.
Sure.
And I'd love to get to the point where, it's the guests are always on either a certain date or we can broadcast it in advance. Just because I think people will look forward
Well,
to.
let me know if you need them because,
Yeah.
obviously we just talked a bunch of generics, but I
Yeah.
have a bunch of cases here that I was like, oh, we could talk about this or we could talk about that or, so how this was more just sort of a.
Yeah, no,
if you
more
wanna get into
cases,
specific
and
issues
then
or-
we can link back to your site
Sure.
once it's up.
Yeah.
Because we do get a fair amount of traffic, and then I'm trying to do a better job of transcribing more of the content on our website so it's searchable. So it's indexed by Google, because right now they don't index audio.
Those wascals.
very well. Yeah. So
Those wascally webbits. My computer's a little slow. At least we're still streaming, but maybe that's why it's slow. It's trying to do two things at once here. Can't walk and chew gum. Come on, computer. You can do it. Well, it's just loading. So I don't know why. I'm just doing the KDOW biz
okay.
website.
Oh, the other thing too is we have a camera. I found the other camera that we have. So I don't think you'll need to bring it to our office anymore. I forgot that we've had.
Yeah, that's
plug-in.
right. You guys do have one.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we have 5 minutes to go, and this will work out perfectly because this thing's got to go on to 56 minutes, or at 48 minutes. So we'll spend just a couple of minutes afterward. Perfect. Anything you want to finish up on?
I'll just give generic deals of the week.
Yeah,
type
please.
thing, and then turn it over to you if you want to touch on more. Definitely provide your contact information.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
So,
all right.
and the kinds of your practice specializations too.
Okay. Ready? Here we go. Welcome back to the Best of Investing. Last time for today, I'm Edward Brown, your host, along with Nam Phan and Bryan Kreft, our special guest. Special. Nam, we already asked our trivia question. Deal of the week.
Yeah, and not a specific deal. So as much as types of deals we're seeing a lot of seconds. which is interesting.
Really?
Yeah, a lot of seconds, a lot of different reasons. People, when they think, oh, we often get a question, do you guys do seconds? And we say yes, and they're like, oh, seconds are bad. The reality is, we probably say no to more of the seconds that we get, because they do have to make a certain type of sense, and the certain type of sense is, we underwrite the same, to the same degree that we would a first, and then some.
Yeah.
But for us, a second can make sense if the overall combined loan to value between the first and the second is low.
Yeah.
Or if it's a small first that we're behind.
Exactly.
So a couple of loans that we're seeing are maybe a second of 300,000 behind a 100,000 first.
And the property's worth $1 million or something.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
So that's a pretty low risk from being a second, but yet you can command a higher interest rate for the borrower.
Right, and this makes sense, and oftentimes, we'll still get paid off in a reasonable amount of time, or refied out of our loan. And so a lot of mortgage brokers are starting to see that. So we're starting to see more seconds come through. So message to the mortgage broker community, realtor community is we do seconds, and to give us a call when you have a loan scenario that other private lenders can't do, or it's a speed issue.
Yeah. Also, Pacific Private Money also gets referrals from banks, because a lot of times the bank can't do a loan fast enough.
Sure.
But you're one of the few lenders who will actually lend on primary residences, consumer owner occupied loans.
Yes, yeah, the ones that typically fall under TRID, Dodd-Frank regulations, and we have the expertise in that. We have the resources, we have the personnel, we have the legal,
the software,
legalese to do those. They're more work.
Yeah.
But they're some of our best loans, actually.
Yeah.
They're still a relatively conservative for private.
Well, most people, if they're going to default on a loan, all things being equal, they don't want to default on their home.
Right, and if they have 30% down, which is our requirement,
Yeah.
That's a lot to
walk away from.
Consider walking away from.
It is.
So.
Brian, before we cut out, any last words, sir?
Just to thank you so much for letting me be here today. I appreciate
Absolutely.
it. Had a great time.
Good.
My office, just located here in San Rafael, Bryan Kreft Law Offices, soon to be Schaefer Kreft LLP.
Okay.
We're over at 790 Mission, 415-485-2200. I mentioned earlier that a lot of the title insurers rely on me to do good work for them, but I have a lot of private clients as well.
Okay.
Exactly. Individual homeowners, some lenders, actually, and we get into lien dispute issues, lien priority issues.
Yeah, what happens, I had one where my old company used to do loans, and a title company I'd never heard of got in touch with us and said, hey, you need to reconvey such and such. And I looked at it, I go, this is like 20 years ago. I said, I've never even heard of this person. Well, you guys showed up, it's a lien. I said, and I called my old business associate. He goes, never heard of him. And they kept calling.
Wow.
Well, we need you to sign off. I go, what am I going to sign off on? I go, it's not us.
Mm-hmm.
I go, I'd love to have a loan on there, I guess, but I don't.
Stuff happens. Paperwork happens. And that's why people get title insurance.
Yeah, exactly. You notice how he gave out his phone number without a hitch this time? Good job.
Hey,
Hey, thanks for fun radio.
Yeah. Well, we'd love to have you on the show again, and we can get into specific types of scenarios that you have.
I'd love to come back. Plenty of fun cases.
Oh, there's lots of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay. You guys ready? We're going to cut out for the day. Here's our thoughts for the day. Success is more attitude than aptitude. I thought that's pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
And there are two ways to be happy. Improve your reality or lower your expectations. That second one's a lot easier sometimes, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. Zero expectations.
There you go. If you have zero expectations, you can't get hurt.
There you go.
All right. Tune in next week to The Best of Investing. We're going to be giving away more free prizes for answering trivia questions. Thanks for listening. On behalf of our team, I'm Edward Brown, wishing you the best of investing. So long. Good. Yeah, we cut out a little bit early there, but that's okay. And we have just 2 minutes left to go. Yeah, hopefully they'll just fill it with commercials and stuff, which is kind of wild because sometimes what they do is they'll take commercials from other shows and throw them on.
Oh, really?
But then we get some of our commercials get thrown onto theirs too, so it kind of works out pretty well.
So.
Yeah, no, it'd be great to have like regular, like the Nom says.
Yeah. Well, let me know if that's something that you guys want to.
Is
about.
Brian on your email distribution?
You know what? Actually, I don't think he is.
I don't believe so.
June, the last week of June, I think is.
I think I did get an
unfilled.
email the other day about June slots, so I may
Okay.
be on, I may have recently been added.
You know what? That is a possibility.
But it seemed to me like it was an after the fact, like it was a, hey, here's what's coming up in June.
Well,
Yeah,
the easiest
so-
way for me to tell is to bring this up.
Because we have Patty Cohen, Realtor.
I know Patty.
Oh, you do? Okay.
Okay, so if I look at contacts and I bring it up as BOI, as they say, then I will know.
And the nice thing is you're just down the street.
Well, that, yeah, I'm just gonna walk back to the office.
Yeah,
Okay,
that's
so
great.
if I bring this up here.
On out.
Yeah, there you are. No,
Perfect.
you're on
Yeah,
it.
yeah, I got
as a
it. I think I
regular.
got one the other day, yeah.
Yeah.
Perfect. Okay, great.
Okay, so that works. So let us know about that.
Sure.
We got just 30 seconds more before we have to cut out live, as they say. So
And
if you
then-
want to wave to the camera and say goodbye.
Adios. Hey,
Adios, amoeba.
Matt, I think, wants to do. Matt Cordes is one of our agents. He
Yeah.
specializes in construction. So I think he wanted to be on again, maybe June 24th. I think that slot was unfilled. He's seeing a lot more construction developer scenarios from the North Bay.
Oh, okay.
Oh, interesting.
So yeah, he kind
Of course,
So we
because of
record on
fires.
the
right,
20th.
and so
first.
he's really been like had his finger on the pulse
Sure.
of what's going on there. And
I used to represent a lot of the contractors in San Francisco, a lot of the Irish